Alright, let me take you back to where it all started. When I was starting out, I was doing everything I thought was right. I was hitting the gym 5 to 6 days a week. I was eating a clean diet, which mostly consists of rice, chicken, and vegetables. I thought that was clean. And then I was even taking pre-workout, BCAAs, protein powder, just bullshit supplements that I thought would actually make me stronger. But despite all that effort, my physique was not good at all. It was not terrible, but it was not the physique I wanted. I was putting in a lot of effort, a lot of work, but still I wasn't seeing the results I wanted. So I figured I should test my blood work, and I tested my testosterone levels, cholesterol, everything, and everything was pretty good, but except my testosterone levels. Those were not low, but in normal range, as I say. Then I decided to go all in on optimizing testosterone, and that's when I realized that testosterone plays a crucial role in building an aesthetic physique. Now you can see how my physique looks after doubling my testosterone levels. And when I figured out how important testosterone is for building an aesthetic physique and also overall in your entire life for energy, work, mood, happiness, everything, then I went down a deep rabbit hole discovering how to actually optimize your testosterone. And it turns out there's an entire esoteric system for optimizing testosterone that goes far beyond what the mainstream fitness advice tells you. And that is what I'm going to go over in this video. I'm going to break down all these complete systems. But first, you have to understand why testosterone is so crucial for building an aesthetic physique and why it matters for more than just your looks. Because testosterone is the primary male hormone, and why it matters more than just your looks. Because testosterone is responsible for everything in your life. It's the primary male hormone. So it's responsible for muscle protein synthesis, actually building muscle, fat metabolism for burning fat easier. With higher testosterone, you'll burn fat so much quicker. You'll get lean instantly, and energy levels and recovery will improve your mental drive and focus and everything in your life, basically. But what most people don't realize is that testosterone actually makes you a better person, a more ethical and generous person. And it's not just about aggression, it's about confidence, clarity, and purpose. And also something which is a bit funny is that women can actually sense your testosterone levels. They did like a scientific study where they found out that women can sense men's testosterone levels, vitality, and health just by smelling their t-shirts. So with higher testosterone levels, when your testosterone is optimized, you'll be able to burn fat quicker. You'll increase your metabolic rate. And that's why you see people with high T levels, they'll be able to eat a lot more while still staying leaner. So before I dive into everything about optimizing your testosterone, let me address something important, and that is you've probably tried increasing your testosterone before. You might be thinking my testosterone levels are just genetics, there's nothing I can do about it, or maybe I'm too old to have high testosterone levels, or even I've tried testosterone boosters and it didn't work. And I had these exact same thoughts before I started increasing my testosterone. But the research and my personal experience proved them all wrong. I doubled my testosterone naturally. So while genetics play a huge role in your testosterone ceiling, how much testosterone you can actually get to naturally, your lifestyle and everything you do will actually have a huge impact on your testosterone levels. And that's what I will talk about in this video, what you can do to actually improve it naturally without any injections of testosterone, natural T boosters, or anything like that. So the system I'm about to share with you works on multiple levels simultaneously. It's not just about one magic food or exercise, it's about creating the optimal environment for your body to produce and utilize testosterone. So the first component is what I call esoteric nutrition, a nutrition approach that goes beyond calories and macros to focus on specific foods that directly impact your hormonal health. When I was looking at my previous diet, it consists of mostly chicken, broccoli, rice, like things that was tanking my testosterone levels. They were reducing my testosterone levels. It can be good for just the gym, but when it comes to testosterone levels and actually looking aesthetic, this is not what you should eat at all. You should focus on fats and cholesterol and other foods that will increase your testosterone, which will make you look more aesthetic and you'll feel a lot better overall. So here's how testosterone production works in your body. It all starts with cholesterol. This molecule transforms into something called pregnenolone, which can then turn into testosterone. And this is crucial. It could also turn into cortisol, stress hormone, or estrogen, depending on your body's environment. So this was a game changer for me. I completely restructured my diet around testosterone testosterone optimizing foods, and the results were dramatic. Here's exactly how I restructured my nutrition. I started eating a lot more red meat, beef, ground meat, lamb. Those are really good. Organ meats, especially liver. Liver is the most nutritious food you can ever eat. It tastes like shit, but it's really good for you. It includes all of the necessary vitamins and everything your body will ever need. It's nature's multivitamin. So eat organ meats at least once per week. And I started eating whole eggs daily, like sometimes 10 to 20 eggs a day. That was when I was bulking, but now like at least 6 eggs per day. Also, don't discard the yolk. I see some people do that, but the yolk is actually where the testosterone boosting nutrients are. And I started to eat a lot more fruits. You can eat all fruits like kiwis, pomegranates, oranges, grapes. Every fruit is good and it tastes great as well. It includes a lot of vitamins which are really good for you. Some people hate about the sugar in the fruit. It's natural sugars. It's the same compounds as just sugar, but the vitamins will actually make up for it, so it will be good for you. And you need some carbohydrates as well. Then I added honey. Honey is really good, but make sure it's raw because that contains a lot of good enzymes and minerals that support your hormonal health, your testosterone. And then it's a really good natural source of carbohydrates as well that doesn't spike insulin as much. And then I eliminated testosterone lowering foods. Like I removed all seed oils and vegetables from my diet. Not all vegetables, because I eat carrots, sometimes onion. Those are not really that bad, but seed oils especially is one of the worst things you can ever consume. So that you should eliminate straight away. You should never consume seed oils ever again in your life. And then I eliminated soy products. I didn't even eat that before, but I made sure I didn't consume any of that. Cut out alcohol completely and cut out processed foods and artificial ingredients. You need to cut out those and yeah, you're pretty good. And you don't have to count your calories or be overly obsessed by it. You just have to incorporate more red meat, eggs, some fruits, raw honey, these things, and you're pretty dialed. And also you don't have to eat 4 or 5 times a day if you're trying to bulk. Then I would rather recommend you to eat 2 times a day. That's what I do. Sometimes even 1 time a day, UMAD. Focus on getting your red meat in, cholesterol and fats, your eggs, and some fruits. And you could just simplify it. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And before I reveal the second component, let me tell you about a mistake I did that was actually suppressing my testosterone levels in the gym. So I was training like a bodybuilder, focusing on isolation exercises, high volume workouts, little recovery, and yeah, I was just training completely wrong. You should train for optimizing your testosterone levels. So the second component is actually training for testosterone, and the truth is that not all training styles affect your hormones the same way. Research shows that training with a higher intensity, doing compound lifts, and training at a shorter period of time with more recovery will lead to higher testosterone levels. But if you're training 3 hours in the gym, low intensity, high volume, you'll just tank your testosterone because you will spike your cortisol. By spiking your cortisol, you will instantly decrease your testosterone. So it's like, this is your cortisol, this is your testosterone. When cortisol goes up, your testosterone immediately goes down. So you should focus on minimizing the cortisol spike, or just keep it over a shorter period of time. So I restructured my whole training plan. I did heavy compound lifts with moderate volume and adequate recovery, because that's like the formula to maximize testosterone. And this was completely different from what I've done before. So I focused on the compound lifts like squats, bench, overhead press, pull-ups, and yeah, rows is also compound lifts for the back. Those are key, and don't do too much of like the isolation exercises. You can target like bicep with isolation, but most of the muscle groups will be targeted by these compound lifts. So focus on these. These are the most important ones. And then do like 8 to 12 reps per set. Push close to failure, but not beyond it. And rest like 2 to 3 minutes, and try to keep your workouts under an hour, preferably like 45 minutes, and train effectively. Don't talk with everyone, and you can do that sometimes, but you should be pretty efficient when you're training in the gym, because the longer you train, the higher your cortisol will spike. And when I changed my workout routine, my strength did go up a lot, and my hormonal response from the workouts were completely different. I felt a lot more energized and not depleted after the workout as I used to do. And with optimal nutrition and training, I was still missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. And the third component is sleep. And sleep is crucial for your testosterone levels. It is one of the most important things. I was always prioritizing my sleep, getting like 9 hours of sleep, 8, 9 hours, mostly 9 hours of sleep every night. And I just want to tell you that sleep is probably one of the most important things. So you have to prioritize sleep. So I would aim for 9 hours, because often when you think you're sleeping 9 hours, you're actually sleeping less. So aim for good 9 hours in the bed and set a consistent sleep schedule. Wake up and go to bed at the same time every night. That will increase your sleep quality. And yeah, also something you should have in mind is to not eat at least 2 hours prior to bed. I don't eat 4 hours prior to bed. I feel that when I don't eat before bed, I can actually relax and actually sleep. When you're sleeping, your body is recovering. But when you are eating prior to sleep, then your body will be activated. Like digestion is one of the most taxing things your body can ever do. So make sure that you are not eating right before bed and keep your room cold. And I actually invested in organic bedding, and that is something I recommend that you also do. Avoid like plastic bedding, and sleep is so crucial. So that is something you should definitely prioritize. The fourth component is stress management. So this is where most testosterone optimizations fall short, because as I said, when cortisol goes up, your testosterone immediately goes down. So cortisol is like the worst thing for your testosterone levels. So most people, they just focus on nutrition and training but completely ignore the impact of stress on your hormone. And remember how I mentioned that cholesterol can turn into testosterone, cortisol, or estrogen? When you're chronically stressed, your body prioritizes cortisol production over testosterone. And that's why I said that when cortisol goes up, your testosterone goes down, because pregnenolone, which is what makes testosterone, rather makes cortisol. And how you manage your stress is with deep breathing exercises. I recommend 10 minutes a day, but then do diaphragmatic breathing. Your diaphragm is a muscle. It sits between your lungs, I believe, and it's like not breathing with the chest, but with the diaphragm, with your stomach. And also meditation is a really good one. Just do 10 minutes of that as well. It is worth it, I promise you. Meditation is so good for your mental state, your focus, everything. And also grounding, walking barefoot in nature, in grass, especially in summer while watching the sun. That's really good because you'll connect with the earth and it will reduce your cortisol a lot. And also something I forgot to mention, in the sleep, you should use blue light blockers to sleep better. It will both decrease your cortisol levels and it will improve sleep, which directly increases testosterone. So you can either get blue light blockers, or you can just put your phone to set it to red or black and white in the evening. And these practices might seem simple and easy, but when things are easy, it is also easy not to do it. But that's why it's so crucial to do them, because sleep and cortisol, if you can increase your sleep quality and decrease cortisol, that will have a huge impact on testosterone, which will then increase every other aspect of your life. So you should really focus on this. The fifth component is detoxification. You've probably heard of xenoestrogens. It is compounds that you see all over in the modern lifestyle. Xenoestrogens that will lower your testosterone levels. So they will mimic estrogen in the body and directly suppress testosterone. And these xenoestrogens don't just reduce your overall testosterone, they change the ratio of free to bound testosterone by tightening SHBG, sex binding hormone globulin, to testosterone. So here's some practical steps to decrease detoxification in your body. You can use heat exposure like regular sauna and just sweating out the xenoestrogens of your body. Hot, cold contrast therapy is a really good one, and that will also help reduce your cortisol. And also cold exposure is really good. I do 2 minutes of cold exposure every morning to wake up, to get the dopamine hit, like natural dopamine hits. This improves blood flow to the testicles and stimulate testosterone production, because all of the blood flow into your extremities, which will increase blood flow and testosterone levels. And also eliminate plastic, all plastic bottles, plus if you eat from plastic, everything by touching plastic, you will decrease your testosterone levels. So eliminate all like synthetic underwear, plastic t-shirts. If you have, just reduce plastic at all, because it contains BPAs, which is xenoestrogen that will lower your testosterone. And you can also to detoxify, you can eat carrots, which includes beta carotenes that help remove heavy metals. Heavy metals will also detoxify your body. And garlic, that's a powerful detoxifier. And turmeric. Those three are actually very good to detoxify your body, and especially important to sweat out the xenoestrogens from your body. So you'll sweat in the gym, but I recommend saunas. But make sure that when you do sauna, that you cool down your balls to not reduce the sperm too much, because that will have a negative impact again. So yeah, take regular breaks or just use a water hose or ice pack on your balls while doing sauna. And the sixth and final component is social dynamics. This might sound strange, but your social environment has a direct impact on your testosterone levels. By competing and collaborating with others, you will increase your testosterone levels, and you can just see it for yourself. That's why athletes and executives often have higher baseline testosterone levels. So how you can implement this is just start by collaborating or competing with others, like in the gym. You can just compete with your friends, and that by itself will increase your testosterone levels. It could be like everything, just playing chess with other people. This component might seem less tangible than the others, but it's actually pretty important to be around other people. By just being around them and collaborating, you don't even have to compete and win, but you should compete. And especially when you win at a competition, that will increase your testosterone. So by just a few months and weeks of incorporating all of these systems, I did it gradually, but my transformation was insane. My testosterone doubled, and I dropped in body fat, gained like 10 pounds of muscle. My energy levels were through the roof. I felt better than I've ever done, and my quality of sleep improved dramatically. And for the first time, I've ever had an aesthetic physique that I actually liked, that I felt proud of. And the mental clarity and confidence I gained overall, and the sense of well-being, was amazing. Yeah, I was actually present in my life, and I just felt generally happier. So I highly recommend you try this for yourself. Just start gradually with the foods, maybe I would recommend, and then you start incorporating more and more things, and it's a gradual process. You don't have to do anything straight away. Try to do everything in a few months, and then you'll see drastic changes. Like, all of these are necessary. So don't just miss one, but you don't have to incorporate everything all at once. And you might be thinking, this sounds great, but I'm too busy. You know, we're all busy, but this is something you have to prioritize. Your testosterone is the most crucial aspect of your life. Think about the cost of having low testosterone. You will not feel well in your body. You will have low energy, poor body composition, reduced mental performance, diminished quality of life. Just your whole life will be a mess. So testosterone is something you have to prioritize, and these 6 components are the main things you should focus on when it comes to actually increasing your testosterone levels. I doubled my testosterone by incorporating these 6 habits. So low testosterone affects your energy, your mood, your drive, your confidence, and ultimately your ability to show up as your best self in all areas of your life. So implement these 6 compounds, and if you found value in this and want to implement this complete testosterone optimization system in your life, I've created something special for you. I now have a school community that you can join completely for free, where I break down all of these things, everything related to boosting your testosterone, increasing your purpose in life, your mindset, and it's completely free to join. Also make sure that you subscribe and like, and follow me for more videos like this. See ya.